This was a rather unusual train trip that I took, not even planned except for on the day as it happened. So, to explain, this is the Czech rail system operated by Ceske Drahy and Czech Cargo, and you can see different international borders around it. And that's line or track number 171. It's an electrified main line that goes to Pilsen. You can see over there on the left. Actually, it becomes 170 after Beroun. And it's multi-track. How many tracks it has depends on where you are. And it's got a 100 km/h speed limit, which of course is, by modern standards, very slow. But I've been on this line more times than I can count, actually. I haven't been on all the little branch lines off of it, but I've been out to Pilsen many, many times, and I've been to that area as well for other things. Also, Beroun is an important junction. If you look here, if you want to go to Luzhna u Rakovnica, which is where the Czech Railway Museum is, you have to go via Beroun, and lines 174 and 124 there. Another way to get there, of course, is via Kladno, you can see, via line 120. And then there is this little bit here, line 173, which goes through Rudna u Prahy, which is, like the rest of these lines to Rakovník and so on, unelectrified. And speed limit's very, very low. It's like around 60 km/h. And historically, this was built as a route up to Germany in a kind of roundabout way. But now it's basically for local traffic. This line I'm pointing to here, line 174, is also the line to get to Chivaklát, where they have the famous castle there. But also, it has a village called Hyskov on it, which will be seen on this video. And what happened was, I was taking a train from Hyskov to Prague, and I was going to change in Beroun to get on line 171, but the conductor told me the same rolling stock would be used for another number of service to Prague via Rudna u Prahy, so I would have a direct train, which is not advertised in the schedules, as you'll see in a moment. That's a little insider trick I discovered pretty much by accident. And in a moment we'll take a look at that. Take a look at the schedule. Here's the first train that I took from Rakovník, but actually getting on Hyskov. You can see I've set it up on Jizdnirady website here to show the route I actually took. So a pretty quick jump to Beroun because it's almost at the end of the line once you're in Hyskov. You can see Chivaklát further up there, almost in the middle of the line. And this is the relatively unknown local service that uses the same rolling stock to go to Smichov via Rudna u Prahy. The X's over on the right there indicate a request stop, and the little rectangles with the line through them indicate that you can buy tickets on the train, because there aren't any ticket offices at those stations, because those stations are mostly unstaffed. You can see the line to Pilsen here again. I'm going to go over a little bit of history. This was partly part of the Kaiser Franz Joseph Bahn, in that it was used to connect to Cheb via Pilsen. The line, however, was part of the Ceske Drahy, the Czech Western Railway. So there we go, Ceske Drahy, so the Czech Western Railway. At least to Beroun. Beroun to Prague, Prague to Beroun on the current electrified line was that. It was built in 1862, as you can see there. And the Kaiser Franz Joseph Bahn was part of a larger project which actually connected via the south of Bohemia. So this direct connection was added as a separate project. But the thing is, the line is associated with the Západní Dráha because of the connection to Heb beyond Pilsen. And here's a map. Here's a historical map from Wikipedia. You can see the connection between Prague and Pilsen there didn't exist, but you could go through this V shape of main line out to Heb or from Heb to Prague via Ceske Drahy, for example, and obviously Pilsen. And that line over on the right, the one going to the south, directly south out of Prague, is the line that was on the fourth part of my DigiHUD speedometer review, actually. Now to look at a little bit more here, the Beroun to Rakovník line, which is basically a single track 60 km/h line, was built in 1876. And it was part of a state railway project connected to the Austrian Empire, this one. I guess you could say Imperial Royal State Railways. That would maybe be one of the best translations of that. Or possibly the Emperor's Royal State Railway. And of course, all of these lines eventually were merged into OBB, which is the current Austrian railway system, and ČSD, which was the Czechoslovak railway system that operated from the foundation of Czechoslovakia until the end of Czechoslovakia in 1993, becoming Ceske Drahy. And this teeny little line that I took just for their directness of it was part of the Pražsko-Dukovské Drahy, this one, which, as I said before, was originally a route to Germany, or at least up to the border. So, started in 1870, this particular section was completed in 1876. But see, it went up to Teplitz, or Teplice as it's called now. But it's very rarely used as an international route now. It's now basically to connect all the little suburbs, as well as Teplice, the spas, and so on, to Prague. As they're saying, they're planning on upgrading it to 80 kilometers per hour, but I didn't see evidence of that on this trip. So here is Hyskov Station. I'm showing some of the hiking signs and other signage around the station. The station is probably original. It's a very common Austrian design that you see in what's now the Czech Republic. There's an old sign telling you which direction is which on the line. There's a kilometer post, 5.7. And they still have relatively old track construction here, although those are actually concrete ties. And this schedule here in the station indicates that this is part of S75, which is part of a new Stadtbahn system, you could call it, around Prague, which is based on the German model, of course, Stadtbahn. Or S-Bahn for short, obviously. Or in Czech, Linka S. But it's basically a standardized set of routes. Strictly speaking, not suburban, but urban or Stadt routes. And a lot of these routes are worked by these 812 class railbuses. Railbuses, at least in the sense that they're diesel multiple units with only 4 wheels per unit. Often use bus-like engines. That says 814 on it, but the class is actually 812. These are gradually replacing 810 class railbuses. Some of them are rebuilds, some of them are new construction, as I understand it. They top out at around 80 kilometers per hour, which in the services they're used is all they need. So you'll see, I'm going to use the DigiHUD actually on this trip, and as you'll see, it doesn't go over 60. But in any case, for the rest of the ride, I'm going to not narrate. I'm just going to let the video run.